Wrestling in 2020 has been something that nobody has ever imagined. I mean, we didn't even have an audience for most of this year, or should we just say most of the year. So it's definitely been a hell of a ride. But now that 2020 is coming to an end, I decided to make this video of the top 10 WWE superstars of 2020. This is just my opinion of who I think showed off this year and who deserves to be the top 10 of 2020. Who do you guys think should be in the top 10? Let me know in the comment section below. And if you're new, make sure to subscribe and drop this video a like, and let's get into it. At number 10, we're gonna go with the Undertaker. I know the marks are going crazy right now, wanting some NXT, but that's not what we're gonna do. We're gonna put the Undertaker because this year, not only did he only have 2 matches, which is obviously not worth it being top 10. The match he had with AJ Styles at WrestleMania, yet alone, is the only thing you guys need to know and why I put him at top 10. That was phenomenal, even main event at WrestleMania Night 1. And that Boneyard match, man, wow. If you didn't watch it, definitely go check it out. He also participated in the tournament thing they had in Saudi this year. But overall, the man also retired this year. It was a perfect send-off. I just hope they do something like this with the crowd. But overall, that was a perfect send-up they had this year. And everything the Undertaker been a part of felt important. And it actually means something. At the number 9 spot, we have the Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar. I put Brock Lesnar because that Royal Rumble performance, yet alone, is the only thing you need to know why I put him in top 10. That was awesome. A lot of people hated it because they're like, oh, Brock Lesnar, he was burying talent and all that. Look, I get it, but it felt something new. It was something fresh. And it made Brock Lesnar look even more dominant, more strong. So when Drew McIntyre took him out, it was the biggest deal because nobody seemed to want to take out Brock Lesnar except Drew McIntyre. So when he did it, that led to a big payoff. He got the biggest pop of the night. He went on to face Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. Now, if it was the fans, I think the match would have been great. It was still great this past WrestleMania because Drew McIntyre eventually won the title. It just didn't have the same energy as it would have had. But still, the man, he put over Drew McIntyre big time. Either it was segments or in the actual match or even in the Royal Rumble. And I just miss the guy. Hopefully he comes back. Hopefully we see him back by the Royal Rumble or maybe WrestleMania for sure. But Brock Lesnar made it number 9 for me. Had to put my boy Sami Zayn in here at number 8 because this guy as a heel is just phenomenal. And 2020 has been the year of Sami Zayn because he won his first 2 titles in the WWE with the Intercontinental Championship, winning it 2 times. And not only that, his heel run has been phenomenal so far. And the way he's been winning matches, outsmarting his other opponents, has just been brilliant. Good booking by WWE. They finally pulled the trigger on Sami Zayn. And that's why I was going to put him right here on my list. If you told me this 2-3 years ago, I would have never put him on my list. He was always a good wrestler. But as a face, he wasn't as charismatic and as entertaining on the mic as he is now. Now he's just phenomenal. But like before, it was never the same. So now Sami Zayn has proven his point, and I hope he maintains a heel. Up next, I put the Hurt Business. I know a lot of people are gonna go in the comments, CR21, you're cheating. I thought you were only picking one. I can't pick one member of the Hurt Business. I mean, come on, what do you want me to pick? Shelton Benjamin? So I had to go with the whole group. I'm sorry, please forgive me for that, but the Hurt Business in 2020 has been amazing. MVP return, I never turned out it was going to be this good. I was happy he was back, but now I'm glad he was back. That's the big difference right there. And the way he was able to save Shelton Benjamin's career, Bobby Lashley's career, Cedric Alexander's career, is just amazing. I made a video about that, what if the Hurt Business, what makes him so awesome. That came out like 2 months ago, so you guys want to, you could definitely go check it out. But yeah, man, I enjoy the Hurt Business this year, and hopefully they win those Raw Tag Team titles this coming up TLC, where they can have even more goal in the group and make them even more legit than they are at the current moment. At the number 6 spot, I gotta put Alexa Bliss, ladies and gentlemen. I never thought starting up the year I would say Alexa Bliss will be in top 10 anywhere, basically. Well, depending, on how her booking was, but the way they were starting out the year with her booking, it didn't look like she was gonna be as good as she'd been the previous years. But this year, she shined, including like 2 months ago, when the whole Fiend thing started. She became a legit star. I made a video about that recently. That's actually my last video, so feel free to go check that out. Also, right after this video, I was talking about how Alexa Bliss became into a megastar with the Fiend. But man, it's just awesome, so I had to put her in the list, no exception. Something told me that she had to be in the list, so I said, you know what, I'm gonna make space, I'm gonna put her in the list, and boom, that's what she did. I enjoyed her change of character, the way she's doing right now, her work, her in-ring ability. So hopefully WWE don't screw it up. They keep continuing this, and I can't wait to see Alexa versus Asuka for the Raw Women's title. I think it's gonna be great. Both are good competitors, so I can't wait for it. But for right now, Alexa Bliss made it to the top 6. At the number 5, we had to put the Messiah, Seth Rollins, the savior of Monday Night Raw. I overall like the gimmick, and I had to put him on the list because it's for the greater good. I like this whole Messiah thing that Rollins had going. And the reason I also had to put him in here just because he made 2 stars and 2 potential champions out of this feud with the Mysterios. They had the longest feud going. They're probably going to win Rivalry of the Year, so I had to put him in here. And he also won the Raw Tag Team Championship this year with Murphy. Don't forget that. So, overall, it's been a pretty decent year for Seth Rollins. This was just a year of him putting over talent. Next year, he'll probably go back to the main event scene once he come back. But for right now, I had to put him in here because he made Dominic Mysterio and Murphy into stars. And it looks like they're going to have a bright future talent after those wins that Murphy picked up on Rollins. Dominic Mysterio never picked up a win on Rollins, but he did have a good showing in all the 3 matches they had. So we'll definitely have to keep an eye on that. But I definitely put Seth Rollins in the top 5 just because of the work he's been doing in 2020. I couldn't pick one, so I had to go with a team. Boss and Huck Connection, Bayley and Sasha Banks both had amazing years. I wish I was able to fit them in both separately, but I couldn't. So they were a team. They did win the tag team titles, so I do have the rights to put them in this top 10. So I did right that. I put them even in the top 3 right there because, ladies and gentlemen, these 2 female wrestlers have had an amazing year. One of them are going to win Female of the Year for sure. I mean, Bayley had the longest title reign. She was 2 belts, Bayley, whatever she was. Oh no, it was Bayley Dole Straps. Sasha Banks was 2 belt Banks. And Sasha won all the titles this year, so that was pretty impressive. So either one of them is going to win Female of the Year. They both had amazing years. So we'll see what comes for them in the future. It looks like Bayley's just going to be there to put over talent. Sasha's going to dominate a SmackDown with her title reign. That's what it's looking like. It's only right I put the Tribal Chief the head of the table, ladies and gentlemen. I had to put the Universal Champion, Roman Reigns, on that list, hate it or not. Ladies and gentlemen, I had to put the Tribal Chief in here, Roman Reigns. What a year it's been for Roman Reigns. I mean, he was supposed to originally win the Universal title at WrestleMania as a face against Goldberg, but he called out because of COVID. But he came back in a whole different role. He was taking care of business, came back, wreck and leave, show up and win. He came back, he won the Universal title 1 week after he came back. He's been the best Universal Champion there has been, hands down. He's made Jey Uso into the main event Uso, and he's even had good matches with Drew McIntyre, Jey Uso, just to name a few. And now he's going to have a banger with Kevin Owens at TLC. So Roman Reigns has had an amazing year. So I had to put him in here. This whole Tribal Chief thing that he's doing is amazing. Hopefully we get Roman and Rock Mania. But for right now, Roman Reigns is on the list. And Goldberg is coming for him. Because you know who's next? It's Goldberg. At the 2 spot, we had to put the Viper, Randy Orton, the Legend Killer. Ladies and gentlemen, what a year it's been for Randy Orton, from having one of the best feuds, best rivalries of the year. I mean, he had one with Edge and Drew McIntyre. Both phenomenal, both amazing. And he's overall had a killer year, man. He brought back the Legend Killer gimmick. He was doing one of the best work he's been doing in quite some time. And he's finally brought the whole Legend Killer back. He was doing good. He even led him to win a WWE Championship. Even though it lasted 3 weeks, he was still able to win the title. But, hey man, it's been a good year. He had a lot of good matches too. And we're talking with the greatest wrestling match ever at Backlash with Edge. He has some good matches with Drew McIntyre and many more to come. So Randy Orton's had a hell of a year. So he definitely had to be at least in the top 5. And I put him in top 2. Of course, at number 1, who else are we going to put? We got to put Drew McIntyre. Hate him or not, Drew McIntyre this year shined completely. Not only did he win the Royal Rumble, he main evented WrestleMania, and he won the WWE Championship 2 times in a year, ladies and gentlemen. What a year for Drew McIntyre. Wow, this is insane. I don't think nobody's had quite a best year like that. I mean, winning the Rumble, main eventing Mania, winning the WWE title 2 times. I mean, what gets better than that? And we had to put him there because of all the work and all the matches he had. He really hasn't had a bad match. He had a good match with Brock Lesnar. He had a good Royal Rumble match. He had a good match with AJ, Randy, Bobby Lashley, Dolph Ziggler, anyone basically in the roster. So he was never putting on bad match. The fans never turned on him. So he was the perfect babyface champion, because nowadays everybody turns on the babyface champion. But Drew McIntyre was just such a likable dude. Shout out to the Great One for that one. But yeah, man, that was basically it right there. And this has been my list for the top 10 wrestlers that I enjoyed and appreciated this year. So what do you guys think? I want to hear you guys' list. Just make sure to put it in the comment section below. And yeah, man, I'm out. It's been my pleasure, and I'm out. Ooh.